All right, so on number 3, it says for this quadratic function, y equals x squared plus 4, which statement is true? The axis of symmetry is 0, the coordinates of the vertex are 4, 0, the coordinates of the vertex are 0, 4, or the minimum value is 4, 0. So it gave us the equation. We can go ahead and graph it, and that should give us our information, right? So x squared plus 4, and let's look at the graph. Now, the axis of symmetry is what divides my graph in half, and it goes through the vertex. Vertex looks like it's right there, but just to double check, we're going to go second, trace, and we're going to go down to it's a minimum. Left, move to the left side, right, move to the right side, and I got a minimum of, and that should be 0, but 4. So if you get an error like this, just know it was trying to estimate as close as it could. You can clearly see the x value there would be 0 though. So 0, 4 is the vertex, and it is a minimum. Minimum value is not 4, 0, that's backwards. Coordinates are not negative. 4, 0 would be over 4, up and down 0. And A, the axis of symmetry, it goes through 0, so it's A, x equals 0. If you can put it on the graph, you can check all the graphing information. Okay, number 4, graph of a quadratic is shown on the grid. Which choice best represents the correct intercepts and vertex for this graph? Well, here's my x-intercept, here's my x-intercept, here's my vertex, and here is my y-intercept. So, let's just label our pieces. It looks like all the answers start out with the x-intercept, so our first one is going to be at negative 3, 0. So x int, that's going to be at negative 3, 0. That's the first one. Our second x-intercept is over here at 1, 0. Now, for our y-intercept, where it's the y-axis, is right there at 0, negative 3. And then our vertex is this bottom point, and our vertex is at negative 1, negative 4. So I have all my values. Let's just see which matches up. X-intercept negative 1, nope, it should be positive 1. A is out. X-intercept negative 3, good. Positive 1, good. Y-intercept negative 3, good. Vertex negative 1, negative 4. It is answer B. But let's just eliminate the others. X-intercept 1 and negative 3, that one's good. Y-intercept is not 0, it's 0, negative 3. X-intercept negative 4, that doesn't work. So it definitely is B. Now, was this a minimum or was it a maximum? Well, since it went down to the bottom, the vertex is at the bottom, this is a minimum. What is the axis of symmetry? Axis of symmetry is always x equals, and then it goes through the vertex. The vertex is at negative 1, negative 4, so x equals negative 1. Remember, rocks, if it asks for roots, zeros, x-intercepts, or if it asks for the solution, those all mean the same thing. And number 5 says, what is the maximum of the quadratic function represented in the graph? Well, maximum or minimum is always referring to your vertex, so find your vertex. The maximum value, it's at negative 2, positive 4, which is C. Six, what are the solutions to zeros equals x squared minus 196? Now, you see a minus sign, you see no middle term, so these are probably perfect squares. So let's check if 196 is a perfect square. So square root of 196, it is. It goes in there 14 times. So I know it should be x plus 14 and x minus 14. That's just the difference of squares. Now, we don't have an answer that looks like that, but there are two answers. One, when we get the solution, we get x plus 14 equals 0, x minus 14 equals 0. So add 14 here. So x equals 14. Subtract 14 here. X equals negative 14. So those are my two answers, right? A, that's too much. If you look at B, it just says plus or minus 14. Well, we had positive 14, we had negative 14, so it is B. I know we haven't written answers like that, but just know that the reason it's B and not C is because C leaves out the negative 14, and obviously D is the wrong number. I'm going to stop the video here. We'll continue on number 7.